The Denver Broncos just pulled off something truly unbelievable, and you're not dreaming. The scenario I've been hoping for has come true, and it's like a dream come to life during this free agency period. The Broncos have taken their only two defensive weaknesses on a top three defense and replaced them with all Pro Bowl players who have even played in a Super Bowl. This is absolutely insane. The Broncos are officially back, and it feels like we just won the AFC West. Let's dive into why this is the perfect move for the defense. Honestly, you couldn't have scripted it better than this. I've been calling this my dream scenario for the past month, and now it's happening. Here's the big news. The Denver Broncos didn't just sign one of the best safeties out there. In my opinion, they also brought in the highest ceiling linebacker in the entire NFL. The Broncos have signed Dre Greenlaw, and this is absolutely wild. Now, with Greenlaw, DJ Jones, and Hwanga, the Broncos are bringing in three of the best defenders from that 49ers Super Bowl team. These are three of the youngest, most talented guys on that defense, and now they're rocking the orange and blue, playing for Vance Joseph. This is like something straight out of a fantasy football dream. Just a few days ago, we saw Sean Payton and George Payton talking about how they probably wouldn't make any huge splashes in free agency, and then bam, here we are with huge moves. It's wild, and honestly, it's hard to believe this is happening. Even though Greenlaw was coming off an Achilles injury, he was still a top 15 linebacker out of 189 players last season. That's impressive, especially when you consider that many teams are working with multiple linebackers. Looking back at his best season, he was one of the top 5 linebackers in the league. Now, with the support of players like Bull Landry and a team that's kept players healthy, we're hoping Greenlaw can fully bounce back. It's a gamble, but it's one that could really pay off. Even if Dre Greenlaw only returns to being a top 15 inside linebacker, this is still absolutely incredible. Think about it. Next year, we'll have Alex Singleton back after injury, which is a huge upgrade from Cody Barton. Just having him back is a major boost. And now with Dre Greenlaw in the mix, this defense has taken an enormous step forward. The Broncos are really stacking talent in all the right places, and it's exciting to see. Now, I know this might sound like an exaggeration, but I've got to say it. Greenlaw reminds me of the legendary Al Wilson. Take a look at this play right here, and you'll see what I mean. He has that same edge, that same intensity. Watch him take down a ball carrier in the backfield and turn what could have been a small gain into a loss of yards. His ability to stop plays like that is next level. He doesn't just blow up small running backs, he's doing it to giant tight ends too. We haven't had a linebacker who hits like this since Al Wilson. It's absolutely wild, and honestly, I'm so excited I can barely contain myself. Seeing Greenlaw sack quarterbacks in the backfield has me even more pumped. This is one of the best days the Broncos have had in a long time, and it really shows that the team is back. The Broncos are a destination now, and it's clear they are a team players want to join. There were 5 teams going hard after Greenlaw, including Miami, the Vegas Raiders, and the Dallas Cowboys, who had plenty of money to offer. Despite that, Greenlaw chose the Broncos. He even narrowed it down to 3 teams and said he'd make his decision by the morning. Well, it's morning for the Denver Broncos because Dre Greenlaw is now an inside linebacker for the team, and I couldn't be more excited. Looking at his PFF grade, it's clear that Greenlaw is a top-tier talent. Some fans were a bit disappointed about missing out on Nick Bolton, but honestly, the Broncos were never really in on him. Sure, it would have been nice to steal him away from the Kansas City Chiefs, but Bolton's strength is stopping the run, and he struggles with coverage. Greenlaw is a much better fit for what the Broncos need. Even in what could be considered a down year for Dre Greenlaw, he's still a better coverage linebacker than pretty much anyone else out there. That alone has me beyond excited about this move. The excitement isn't just coming from me. There's unanimous approval across the board. It's not every day you see people on social media, especially on X, saying, "What just happened? This is incredible." Even Brandon Perna, the godfather of Broncos content, was all in, saying this was his dream scenario. These players could have gone anywhere, but the Broncos are a destination now. When people used to joke about the Broncos having the best roster in sports, they're not laughing anymore. The receipts are here, and this is proof that the Broncos are officially a top destination. Looking ahead to next year, the defense is going to be stacked. If you remember this past season, there were times when the Broncos had to run a penny formation, meaning they only had Alex Singleton and then 5 defenders on the line. Malcolm Roach, DJ Jones, Zach Allen, and 2 edge rushers. It was a bit of a patchwork situation, But now, with a healthy Alex Singleton and Greenlaw added to the mix, it's a whole different story. The Broncos won't have to pull guys off the unrestricted free agent pile anymore. They're adding an all-pro linebacker to a defense that was already top 3 in the league. And let's not forget the Broncos have one of the best quarterbacks in the entire game, and his deal now looks like a steal. He took a hometown discount to stay in Denver. The Broncos also have Riley Moss, an elite corner who was performing at a high level before his MCL injury. The defense is already a powerhouse, but with these new additions, next season is going to be something special. Get ready. I'm telling you right now, during the draft, all the Broncos need to focus on is getting weapons for Russell Wilson. We all know that rookie weapons tend to make an impact faster than defenders, who often take a little longer to develop. This could not be better news for Denver, and it's exciting to see so much energy around this move. Speaking of excitement, even Ed McCaffrey is hyped about what's happening. Eddie Mack is back, and he's got the Broncos track jacked. McCaffrey couldn't believe what he was seeing when the Broncos signed 2 top-tier 49ers in one day. For someone like Ed McCaffrey, whose son is a San Francisco 49er and who's best friends with the Shanahans and John Lynch, to come out and say, "You guys just stole these players from us," that's huge. It's the kind of endorsement that proves how big of a win this is for the Broncos. Now, the only potential downside for Dre Greenlaw and the others is if injuries get in the way, but that's where the Broncos' investment in player health comes into play. With their focus on body care, nutrition, and hiring experts like Bo Landry, the team has made major strides. They went from being one of the most injury-prone teams to one of the healthiest in the NFL. If that continues next season, watch out. The Broncos could go from nearly tying the Buffalo Bills and losing that game to becoming a deep playoff contender. If they can find that key playmaker for Sean Payton's system, there's a real chance we're looking at a Super Bowl run. And just for fun, here's a hilarious little tidbit. We've been hearing a lot about Evan Ingram, the former Jaguars tight end, who many of us would have loved to see in a Broncos uniform. If the Broncos add Greenlaw, Hwanga, and Ingram, they'd be unstoppable. It would be so exciting that even Ingram wouldn't need a shirt for work tomorrow. He was at the Broncos facility all day today, and the buzz is that he's heading to the Chargers facility tomorrow. The momentum around this is building, and it's a thrilling time for Broncos fans. Imagine this. You're scrolling through Twitter and you see Broncos fans fired up about what's coming next season. The excitement is contagious, and it's clear there's something special building in Denver. The Broncos are putting up a brand new training facility at the old Dove Valley, and it's going to be top tier. The sunny skies of Denver, only going to make it better. Now compare that to what the Chargers have going on. What's the big draw there? Harbaugh strolling around in his Kohl's khakis. Maybe Phillip Rivers' dozen kids running around shouting, "Come play here." But let's be real. Broncos fans are the ones with a championship mindset. We're talking Super Bowl aspirations here. And then there's Evan Ingram joining us to make this free agency week unforgettable. I've been calling this all along. Just look at the predictions I've made. Days ago, I said the Broncos could be the dark horse, ready to take it all. Before free agency even kicked off, I mentioned Dre Greenlaw as my ultimate dream pick. And a whole month ago, I dared to dream that the 49ers wouldn't re-sign Hwanga. At the time, it felt like a total long shot. But hey, here we are.